Good morning, Year 9, it's Mrs. Reed here, and welcome to Lesson 2 of our narrative writing based on war poetry. So hopefully as you're starting this means that you have already completed Lesson 1, and for this lesson you're going to need a pen and some lined paper. So make sure you've got everything you need, please, and that you are distraction free before you start. Okay, so let's just recap. Last lesson I talked to you about writing the experience of a soldier, and we were basing this on a short film clip that we watched from the film Saving Private Ryan. Now, if you haven't watched that, or perhaps if you want to recap it, I have popped the link to it also onto Show My Homework. So we're going to be imagining the experience of a soldier or a group of soldiers who were on one of the boats entering the beach in Normandy, France in 1944. So you were asked to write a 4-paragraph narrative to describe what happens to this soldier. And we've already spent some time setting the scene and creating some characters. So today, what we want to do with those final 2 paragraphs is look at what happens to the soldiers when they land on the beach. So we're going to look at using verbs to really precisely describe the action. And then we're going to end with the soldiers having survived this ordeal, and we'll be looking at how we can use personification to create a particular atmosphere. Okay, let's make a start. So as I said, we're going to be building up 2 other paragraphs and 2 techniques to work on today. So slightly different to our last lesson where we mainly just focused on sentence structure. So paragraph 3 is called Landing on the Beach. You might wish to pop a subheading on your page for your notes first of all. So this is your plan. So I want you to think about, as those soldiers land on the beach, what would they experience? And we can think here in terms of sensory details. So thinking about the sights, smells, things that they could hear. What kinds of experiences are going to be going on? I could imagine this scene as being incredibly chaotic, overwhelming, there being a cacophony of noise. But I'd like you to try and think of 4 to 5 things that you could describe. So pause the video here and make a list. What would the soldiers experience as they land on the beach? Okay, so once we've got our little list of ideas, perhaps we've got the sight of the waves crashing in front of them, bullets hitting the water. Perhaps they've got the sounds of gunfire rattling, as well as the cries of injured men. There's going to be a whole number of different sensory things going on for these soldiers. So what could we do with it then? Well, we could describe in this way, and let me show you my sort of mediocre one first. So it says, I could see the smoke billowing from the mouth of the guns like angry steam. I could feel the heat of sheer terror on my face. I could hear a rumbling sound as the soldiers reloaded further artillery ready to erupt again. I could taste blood and feel it on my skin. So this is already starting to think in terms of sensory details. It's quite a common technique that students use, working through the senses and saying what that soldier could experience. So using I, writing in the first person, I could see, I could hear, I could taste. And what we want to do is sort of move beyond that. We want to use some of the really excellent verb choices here, but we want to think about writing in the third person and in the simple past tense as well. Let's see this piece then improved in that way. So I'm going to remove, first of all, any reference to the first person. So I don't need I could see. Smoke billowed from the mouth of the guns like angry steam, and a terrifying heat radiated on their faces. That's a much more powerful line, and you can see I've changed the ing ending verbs into the simple past, so they end with ed, removing reference to the self and focusing instead upon the site and the verb has crafted a much more interesting and even precise description. Blood invaded the soldier's mouth and clung to his skin as the impending second round rumbled, ready to erupt in a deadly shower of bullets again. So this is a well-crafted paragraph. We could go on and build on to say more things that happened here, but that range of verbs is really, really effective in creating that precise imagery of the soldier's experience. So let's have a look, before you have a go at writing this, at some really useful verbs. So in this grid you can see we've got a range of different verbs that are particularly useful for describing our sensory details. Now, you're not going to use all of these in your writing, but it would be a good idea now to look at your list that you've already created, so what are the things you were going to describe, and see if you can match up to them a few verbs, so choosing up to 5. Pause the video and do that now, please. Okay, so just looking at your list then, perhaps you could see the smoke billowing. Okay, perhaps it was the smell of scorched and singed clothing or skin. Perhaps the taste comes from the thick fog and smoke that's causing the men to choke. It's clogging in their throats. Perhaps they could hear the rattle and grumble of distant gunfire. Okay, so we'll do our sentence level practice next, just as we did last lesson. So pens at the ready, we're going to write a sentence. First of all, it's going to follow a particular structure, so and so sentence, but it's also going to contain an interesting verb to describe the senses. So think about what it is that you want to describe first. So if I go for the fog, I'm going to say that the fog was so, I want an adjective here, I'm going to say that the fog was so thick and so intense. And then it's so thick and so intense that it did what? Okay, this is where my verb can come in. That it smothered the men as they struggled out of the boats. No, it can't say out of the boats because we're on the beach at this point. Smothered the men as they struggled up the beach. Okay, so we're thinking about what was it that was so, 2 adjectives, so this and so this, that it did what? Thinking about your verb choice. Okay, pause that video and spend a few minutes crafting that sentence carefully. In fact, I'm just going to write my example at the bottom here. And remember, just like last lesson, we said this is all about borrowing the good bits, looking for those really sparkly, shiny things that we can magpie for our own work. So if there's anything that you've seen that I've used so far that you would like to use in your writing, feel free to borrow it, tweak it, change it if you wish. Okay, there we go with my example too. Okay, once you have your sentence then we're ready to move on, and this time I'm going to give you a little bit more free rein. So you're going to spend some time now crafting your paragraph 3. The guidance here is that it must really focus on sensory details, describing what happens to the soldiers as they land on the beach and what they experience. You want to use a range of different senses and a range of different verbs that describe that sensory detail with precision. Okay, pause the video and don't forget that you also have that really helpful crib sheet of useful sentences, vocab and ideas from the poem that you could use too. Spend around 5 minutes crafting this. Okay, so if you've got to this bit, that must mean now you have completed paragraphs 1, 2, and now 3. So well done. And the final paragraph we're going to do today is about surviving the beach. Now, this was only a 4-paragraph narrative. We didn't have to say everything that happens to the men. We just wanted a snapshot of their experience. So now we need to describe what happens to our characters, and you would have given them some names in the last lesson, so maybe recap, make sure you've got your work in front of you so you can see who they were. And we're going to say what happens to them next. So I will tell you now that despite the heavy loss of life around them, they do both survive the beach. So we want to give a sense of what happens next. Now, we could move forward in time, perhaps a few hours later, even minutes later, or we could show what happens when they find a spot of safety. Does it bring relief? Are they truly exhausted? We're going to think about what happens to our soldiers once the intensive fighting has died down.